This video is part of a series on irregular present tense conjugations in Spanish. This particular video covers verbs with irregular yo forms, specifically verbs that end in CER, CIR, GER, and GIR. If you're watching this video, you should already be familiar with regular and stem-changing verbs in the present indicative tense. First off, we have verbs whose jo form ends in ZCO. This rule applies to verbs whose infinitive ends in a vowel followed by CER or CIR. The first example is the verb conocer. As you can see, this verb ends in a vowel, O, followed by CER. For most of the forms, the regular ER conjugation rules apply. Those forms are tú conoces, él conoce, ella conoce, usted conoce, nosotros conocemos, vosotros conocéis, ellos conocen, ellas conocen, ustedes conocen. The yo form, as mentioned above, ends in ZCO instead of just O, giving us yo conozco. The next verb, producir, is an example of a verb that ends in a vowel, U, followed by CIR. This verb follows the same pattern as conocer. Yo produzco, tú produces, él produce, ella produce, usted produce. Nosotros producimos, vosotros producís, ellos producen, ellas producen, ustedes producen. On this slide, you can see a list of some common verbs that follow this same conjugation pattern. Note that though the verbs hacer and decir fit this description of ending in a vowel plus CER or CIR, they do not, in fact, follow this conjugation pattern. As always, here's my reminder to make flashcards. So the whole ZCO ending applies to verbs that end in a vowel plus CER or CIR. What if a verb ends in a consonant plus CER or CIR? Well, then the yo form ends in just ZO. Here are two examples, convencer and fruncir. Convencer ends in a consonant plus CER. Most of its forms are conjugated regularly. Convences, convence, convencemos, convencéis, convencen. The only irregular form is yo convenzo. We have to change the CO ending to a ZO to make sure that we pronounce the word properly. Similarly, fruncir ends in a consonant plus CIR. In the present tense, we get yo frunzo with a ZO at the end, followed by the regularly formed frunces, frunce, fruncimos, fruncis, and fruncen. As you can see, there are not as many verbs that fall into this category of irregular verb. Note that the one addition to this group is mecer. Mecer ends in a vowel plus CER, but it's conjugated as the words that end in a consonant plus CER. Again, I recommend making flashcards and practicing with this list of common verbs that have jo forms ending in ZO. And here's my last category of verbs for this video. verbs whose infinitive ends in GER or GIR. These verbs are regular except in the yo form. In that form, the conjugated verbs will end in JO instead of GO. Let's take a look at escoger. Most of the forms are regular. Escoges, escoge, escogemos, escogéis, escogen. In the yo form, in order to maintain the correct pronunciation, we change what would be a GO to a JO and get yo escojo. Similarly, corregir has an irregular yo form as well. It also has an E to I stem change in the boot forms. Starting with the yo form, we get yo corrijo. So I have a stem change and the spelling change, GO to JO. In the remaining forms, we only have to worry about a potential stem change. Corriges, corrige, corregimos, corregís, corrigen. Here's a list of some common verbs that follow this pattern. And yes, you guessed it, I recommend making flashcards. Take a moment now and use the Google form to check your understanding of irregular present tense verbs so far. You may either scan the QR code from a smartphone or click on the link to the form in the video description below. Please note that the form requires you to log in with your school email account. If you're looking for more practice, check out the resources linked in the video description below. When you feel ready, move on to the third video on irregular verbs.